All right, lesson 74 in math this week. Relate fractions, decimals, and money. So, like I said last time, decimals and money are related. There are, right, 100 cents equals $1, right? So when you're talking about money, 100, however many cents that you're talking about is that many out of 100 in $1. So if you're talking like, I have 15 cents, you really have 15 hundredths of $1. And just a review, remember that a nickel, let me spell nickel. I think that's right, is 5 cents. And so that would be written as a decimal as 0.05, right? $0.05. A dime is worth 10 cents, right? So 0.10, a tenth of $1, because 10 dimes equal 100, right? 100 cents. A quarter equals 0.25 cents, or 25 hundredths of $1. Because remember that right after the decimal point, here I'll put, so we have the ones place, right? Oops, 0. And then the decimal point. And the next place is the tenths place. And then we have the hundredths place. So I put a T and an H for tenths and hundredths. So the quarter goes out to the hundredths place, 2 tenths. Because like if you were thinking about a quarter is 25 cents, but you could also use 2 dimes and a nickel, right? And so 2 tenths, 2 dimes, and then the nickel is 5 cents, and that's 5 hundredths. So, all right, so there's our little cheat sheet over there in the corner. So the example problem is to look at this, all this money, oh, it's so much money, and figure out how much money it is and write it as a decimal in terms of $1 and a fraction in terms of $1. So first you have to like count up the money. So they've put it in order of biggest amount to smallest amount on this thing. So we have 25 cents, add 10 cents for the dime makes 35 cents. Add 5 more cents for the nickel is 40 cents, add another 5 is 45, add another 5 is 50. So altogether we have 50 cents, and that would be written 0.50, 5 tenths, really, or 50 hundredths. So you would write that as a decimal just like that, and you would write it as a fraction just like this right here, okay? 50 100ths. So let's go down to the part down here. Write the total amount of money, then write the amount as a fraction or a mixed number as a decimal in terms, or a mixed number and as a decimal in terms of $1. All right, so I am going to, that's fine. Okay, so we have, it looks like 1/4, so that's 25, right? And then we have dimes, putting their values on top of them, then I can think about them that way, and nickels. All right, so do you think that's more or less than $1? To me, it looks like less than $1. So we have 25, counting on by tens, 35, 45, 55, 65, then counting on by fives, 70, 75, 80. So this money is worth 80 100ths, which is your fraction of $1, right? 100 cents in $1, we have 80 cents here. 80 100ths, and written as a decimal, that would be there's no whole dollars, 0 and decimal point, make it a tiny bit bigger, 0 and 8. You could either write it like this, 8 tenths, but it says decimal in terms of $1. And when we think of money, we think of it in hundredths. So we're going to put a 0 in the hundredths place, and we'll have to put a $sign in front because it says in terms of $1. There we go. So $sign, 0, decimal, 80, 0 and 80 cents. All right, let's look at this one. This one we actually have a whole $1. So we know that we're going to have something in the ones place. And then let's look at our change. Here's a quarter for 25, and a dime for 10, and a dime for 10. All right. So 25, 35, 45. So we have $, $1, and there's our and decimal point. That's what it means. 25, 35, 45 cents. But don't forget that we also, the directions say that we have to write it as a mixed number, a fraction or a mixed number. So that's the same as 1 and 45 hundredths. Like that. All right, easy peasy. Let's look at the second page. We're gonna clear this and go to the second page. Check it out. All right, these should be the same. These should be the same as what we did on the last page. Let's look at this one. It's a little bit different. Write as a money amount and as a decimal in terms of dollars. As a money amount and as a decimal in terms of dollars. So to me, that's the same thing, a money amount and a decimal in terms of dollars. So I would just, there's a tiny one line, so I'm gonna call it what it is and just say, here we have 0 holes, right? So no whole dollars. So we have 0, so we have to put a $, and then we have no holes, and we have 25 hundredths. So 25 hundredths of a dollar is like that, 25 cents, written like that. We could, I guess, a money amount might also look like this, 25 cents. I don't know. I'm just looking for that decimal thing. Okay, so you know how to do those. I will show you number 6 really quick. We have a $, since we're talking about a $, or talking about dollars. So 8 hundredths is like the same as what when we had a nickel, what a nickel was worth. So 8 hundredths is only 8 cents. So we have 0 holes. We'll put that 0 first. And there's our decimal point. No tenths. It doesn't go into tenths. And then we put the 8 out here in the hundredths place. Just like when we had the nickel and we put the 5 in the hundredths place. So 0.08 is how you write 8 cents. All right, let's take a look at this next section. Write the money amount as a fraction in terms of dollars. Okay, so instead of writing it as a decimal, we're gonna write it as a fraction. So here it says 87 cents. We're just like undoing like what we did here. 87 cents, no dollars, so 87 hundredths. So there's 87 out of 100 cents, just like that. Looks like $1 with no cents is just a 1. Yeah. All right. Now we have write the total money amount, then write the amount as a fraction and as a decimal in terms of dollars. And I would say that the total money amount, we are going to write it as a decimal. So there's really only 2 things you need to write here. 2 quarters and 2 dimes. So 2 quarters, that's 50 cents. And 2 more dimes, 60, 70 cents, right? So we have 70 cents. So that would be as a fraction, 70 over 100, right? And then as a decimal, we put our $, because we're talking about money here. $. Oh, I put another one. 0 whole dollars and 70 hundredths. Okay, there we go. And then the last one, I'll do the word problem. Kate has 1 dime, 4 nickels, and 8 pennies. Right, Kate's total amount as a fraction in terms of a dollar. As a fraction in terms of a dollar. Okay, so 1 dime, 4 nickels, and 8 pennies. So that's 10 cents. 4 nickels would be 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're at 30, and then 8 pennies. So 38 cents. Okay, so 38 cents, and that would be 38 out of 100 cents in a dollar. So, and it only says to write it, this one as a fraction. Oh, I'm gonna write my fraction line like this because it's just too hard to stay on that line. 38 hundredths. Nolan has 75 hundredths of a dollar. He only has 3 coins. What are the coins? I bet you can figure that one out. All right, so hopefully that's pretty easy now. All right. Stop share.